seen the projects we've done, just the ones we did last year with 13th and Elm Street, and then even with Link J, how expensive they are to do those. And there's always something underneath. It's never just a surface. You always think it is, but you're always going to find something underneath there that needs to be adjusted. So I think that's a good percentage. But anyway, the way we have it now is, I think that what the council had decided on, and you guys can have more discussion about this if you want. If there are more questions about housing, I can provide them. But we have in the resolution right now, 50% of that half-cent sales tax would go towards street improvements. 25% would go towards aquatic center. 5% would go towards some infrastructure improvements, I think mostly the parking lot up at the golf course. 10% would go towards continuing our relationship with the SPNRD to work on some more flood and stormwater mitigation projects. That's what we have before us right now tonight on the resolution.
David, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Are these applications tied in for 10 years then?
They would be, yes. Once the public votes on it, that would be what you're tied to then for, so it's an important decision.
And whether a project is put together right away in those 10 years and bonded, or waiting till those funds build up over 10 years is a decision of council.
And we've done it both ways.
Yeah, exactly, and that was my point, because I was involved in this 10 years ago, and the golf course project was done right away and bonded.
As was the
The
pool.
street project, obviously, waited until the last 10 years.
Paid cash for it.
And was done here just in the last year. So there's multiple ways to approach what those projects are within that half-cent sales tax.
Absolutely true.
But
Well, it depends on,
they're designed as special projects that can be discussed, brought forward, and approved by council.
costs, bond, interest levels, there are all kinds of things would come into those kinds of decisions. But I thought that they made the right one by taking advantage of what was low interest rates in 2012 at that point. But for streets, I think they might have did the right thing, saving that money up, because that saved us when the Link J came through, and we would have wound up getting stuck with both of those
Right.
on debt. And so as it turned out really good that,
Yeah. We ended up
that we made that
with
decision.
one of
Yes,
those on the
yes.
books instead of both.
Yep.
Okay.
Are there other questions about what happened or what we're doing? Or
Any questions from the public? No?
from the council?
Any questions from council? No? Okay. Well, we will close the public hearing at 6:24 then. So again, this is to put forward a proposal that will go on the ballot in November for renewal. Again, this isn't new. This is renewal of the local option
Yes.
sales tax with the breakdowns as put forward by David and council. And so we're making it official now.
That's really important to note that this is not a new tax.
It is not a new
This is something
tax.
we've been doing for a long, long
It's
time.
not a
It's
new
very
tax.
important to mention that.
And I guess I would make the point too that, and David said this in the beginning, is we've seen firsthand the benefits of the projects that the public has been able to reap the benefits of over the last 10 years. So I think that's important to point out to the public too. So a lot of good things were done with that money. I guess since I made the motion last time, at our special workshop, I'll go ahead and make it again. Move to pass resolution 20220603. Second by Olson. Roll call?
Sherman?
Yes.
Galloway?
Yes.
Radcliffe?
Yes.
Olson?
Yes.
Elwinger?
Yes.
Motion carries 5 in favor, 0 against. Okay.
I guess it's still me.
Yep, so item number 5, resolution 20220701, approval of the local emergency operations.
Yep.
How come the jump in numbers? Usually there's sequential.
The 603 was from last month, and so I kept that number.
Oh, yeah.
And
Gotcha.
the,
Tabled it.
Because we tabled it.
Okay,
There you
gotcha,
go.
that makes sense.
I don't notice that either.
You're on top of it.
Yes, she
I
is.
tried. I was gone. Shouldn't have spoken up. Thank you, though. Thank you.
Yeah, this is something that the whole Region 21 would be included in, and it's a quite large document. You'll notice, actually, to be honest with you, there are some areas where you might notice it goes from page 4 to 15, and the only reason, I'm not trying to hide anything, they put every single community's resolution in there that they're going to pass, which is similar to the one you'll pass, and I didn't think you guys wanted to waste a bunch of paper looking at every single municipality and county's resolution that's exactly like yours. The only one that you really need to, pass is the one that's for us. So that's why it does that. I wasn't trying to hide anything. It is a quite lengthy document that goes over the processes and procedures in the case of emergencies. I think it's important to notice, since we just, and I tried to put this in my memo, since we just passed the hazard mitigation plan a while back, I think it might be confusing to people or to the public, like, what didn't we just do this? We just passed this like 2 months ago. So the answer to that is the hazard mitigation plan completed earlier this year is a document specific to the jurisdiction, and that would be specific to Sydney. And the reason we do that is so that we can apply for Federal Emergency Management Agency funds, FEMA, monies in case we would ever have something that would hit, specifically Sydney, a horrible weather event, and that would allow us to open ourselves up to that funding. This one is more all-encompassing of Region 21. It'll have all the counties in it, all the police departments, all the sheriff's offices, all the, all the different entities involved. So it does make it a little bit more all-encompassing. The entire Shannon County, in fact, that's what I wrote here. The layup is emergency response plan at the city, county, village, all will use in the case of a disaster. It's not just to get funds from the government. This was what you are going to do and how you will proceed if something happens. So it is a different thing.
It kind of lays out too, if it's something that needs to be dealt with on the spot, who makes the call, usually the first incident responder. If there's more time involved, then it goes to highest elected official, all that kind of.
Correct.
Lays out all of the procedures.
Who can expend funds if need be at the last minute without, superseding your budget, and who can do this and who can do that.
If you have something that needs to be dealt with before the
Yes.
emergency meeting can be scheduled, it lays out the proper
Correct, who the
procedures
persons,
for
who your command person is, and where you would set up a command center, where that would be. We have several of them in Sydney. This building is one, the school is one, the community center is one.
So who would be the author of this document?
It was put together by a lot of different people, me, Chief Joagan, the sheriff, and then a lot of other people in different communities. But the one that is probably the driving force on this one, I would say, is Region 21 and Cheyenne County.
So they all,
Yeah, they all have their own sections in here.
Is this the one Ron Leal's involved in?
He would be, yes. Yep, he would be, yep. He is, so to speak, to the other one, too. The other one is not so much him, the hazard mitigation is not so much him leading it, but you can apply through him, which we did. I did apply for a bunch of emergency generators, so we'll see how that goes. Because the other one is the one that allows you to ask for money.
But that's a
So we did, yeah.
That's a grant proposal that's still out there?
Yep, I have not been turned down yet, so that's good.
Yeah. Okay. Any questions for David on the local emergency operations plan? No real major changes from the last time we
No.
did this?
A lot of like people, positions that changed. I don't know that they,
Every time city manager changes. or
Right.
Mayor changes,
Mayor
or
changes.
police chief, or whoever changes.
The whole council would
You gotta
be-
tweak that every time, so.
yeah. Usually when you do it every 3 or 4 years, you're going to have a different council member, a different,
But as far as context,
Something.
the overall context of the plan is largely unchanged.
it's largely the same, yeah.
Okay, any other questions for David or staff? If not, is there a motion to pass resolution 220701? Motion by Sherman, is there a second? Second by Radcliffe, roll call.
Galloway?
Yes.
Radcliffe?
yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
Elwinger?
Yes.
Sherman?
Yes.
Motion carries 5 in favor, 0 against. All right, thank you. Item number 5, Cheyenne County Chamber of Commerce Quarterly Report. And the winner is
You guys get to see me,
bonus.
Martina Norges with Cheyenne County Chamber. I'm the chairman of the board. We are currently still in search of a new president CEO for our office. So if you guys could help spread the word. We have not maybe had as many applicants as we did when this position was open previously. So it's been a little bit more difficult in our search this time. So any and all applicants or
So the search
referrals.
process is still open.
Yeah, the search process is still open.
Where should people go if they're interested in applying for this?
So the best place is Indeed. That's where we have been sending all of our applicants to apply so that the hiring committee can view them and review them.
You
So,
could either find it on Indeed or contact the
or
office
contact the chamber office,
for
yep.
more information?
Yep. Yep, so we are still business as usual. Our board members have been really great and stepped up and volunteered their time to help keep things moving as normal. All the phone calls are being answered, emails, et cetera, are all being answered by board members, so. Mainly me.
We've never did so much talking before, have we?
Well, we appreciate the efforts to keep business moving.
A lot of it is people moving to town, people looking for, rentals or lists of rentals or landlords in the community. That's what a lot of the phone calls are about. And people looking for information on events going on in town, who to contact for different events. We're starting to get a lot of inquiries about the Cheyenne County Fair, a lot of that kind of stuff. We do have some businesses that are looking for different services. Keep Cindy Beautiful is still in the office. If you guys haven't seen, we got new signage out front, which looks really nice, updated, really clean and pretty. And we did utilize the signage grant for that for both entities. So thank you guys for offering
Through the
that.
historic board.
Through the historic board.
I'll just ask a quick question. Since
Sure.
you brought up Keep Sydney Beautiful. Do they help coordinate people taking care of some of the different holdouts? I've had citizens contact me with questions about that, and I've kind of tried to steer them that way. I said, I know in the past it's been done mostly as volunteer. I mean, obviously it was all volunteer, and I said, I don't know that any one entity had.
I don't know if there's any one entity that has been in control. I do know it's been private citizens like
Right.
you that have really kind of taken charge of those and helped keep those looking really great and nice. I can definitely pass that along to Keep Sydney Beautiful to Jason. They are having some staff change over there as
Right,
well, so
right.
I can definitely mention that to
I
him.
just at least wanted to mention, I've had people contact me about that, and I'm like, well, my best guess is try and start there and start a conversation there.
Yep, and
People that
we-
are wanting to get involved and.
Yep, and I think we actually had a phone call about that recently here too as
Okay.
well, about asking who was in charge or who took care of those, so.
Okay.
I've heard you, but I'll chat with Jason about it too, because him and I are in contact a lot, so. So yeah, we have been very busy. Again, huge shout out to all of our volunteers. We've had Girls Day Out since McKaylee was here last. That was highly successful. We had people waiting to get bags, actually. They were wanting bags sooner than what we had previously. We did things a little bit different with Girls Day Out this year. Started out with, at the Elks with breakfast, and I think people really liked that. It drew people in downtown, kind of gave them a place to sit down and just, have breakfast and kind of make a plan for the day after they received their bags and got all their items and their goodies. So that was a really great and successful day. We launched our Cheyenne County gift card program, which is going to eventually replace the paper gift certificates that we've been going out. There's going to be a transitionary period where we're still honoring checks that have previously been given out, but we're moving forward to a card. That way then we have a little bit more control and analytics behind that, which has been really great. Technology's pretty amazing. So we're continuing to talk to businesses, get them signed up, help them understand how the card can benefit them and how they can pull analytics on their side, so that they can definitely see, the benefit of handing those out and giving those out. Security First Bank has been a huge proponent and helper of those, getting those off the ground, and also SRMC has actually purchased a bulk amount of them and given them out to employees as well. So they've been super helpful with doing that. We are undergoing, making additional changes and revamping our website. Kendra Mitchell, myself, and actually McKaylee Coons are all working and tackling that project. We just redid the website, but there's been some clunky things that we're trying to fix, so I'll give you guys, hopefully at the next quarterly update, we'll have some new updates, new imagery, some new things that'll be really great there. We are going to have the building in, highly focused on building in business resources for entrepreneurs, basically as a landing page, because that's what the Cheyenne County Chamber is truly about, is bringing people together, helping people find the right resources. We're kind of a resource hub, making connections with people. So that's really been kind of our theme for some of the new content that we're going to be launching on the site. We have had several ribbon cuttings and new businesses sign up, a floral shop, Lazy S Ranch, hair salon, a new roofing company. Have just been a couple in the last 6 weeks probably. So things are going well there. We have several of our board members that have become highly engaged in E3 and all the research that group has been conducting. We're working together with them and just staying in the loop so that we're all communicating and collaborating and using all of our efforts bestly move forward. So trying to think, anything else that you guys want to ask me? I know we sent the report over. I don't know if you have any questions. Downtown Sounds has been highly successful this year. The help from the city setting up has made a huge improvement in just timing with and helping out with our volunteers. It's been a huge help, so I greatly appreciate the employees that have done that and David's support on that, because it makes setup a breeze. And then at the end of the night, quite honestly, we're borrowing fencing from the school, which has been a huge help this year, and I just pull a trailer in and we load it up and put it all away. So I'm estimating that we've had roughly 500 people or more if you count kids. We weren't really counting kids in the total at our last two events. So we just had our last event on Friday night with Rascal Martinez. Luke Mills and Dylan Bloom Band was in June. And then we just announced that we're going to have Nate Kine here August 5th. And all of the bands that we have brought in are Nebraska bands, Nebraska people. So it's been kind of nice to host local talent from Nebraska. And honestly, it's been really good with all of those events. So.
Yeah, I would add, they seem to be extremely popular events with the public. Been very well received, I should say, by the public.
Yeah, it seems like, that's something that people leave town to do, and they're willing to stay here now that they know it's a free concert and a good time, and everybody can kind of just go and hang out and relax. And I've seen so many kids down there too, just enjoying it. I mean, my kids also, but so many kids just enjoying it, and it's a safe place. Seems to be everybody having fun.
Have you had any comments or feedback on things that could be done to make them better or improve the experiences for the events?
We have had some complaints about maybe not being enough room because we have such a small area. We did have, we had to adjust our fencing a little bit to allow wheelchair access actually to the vendors and to the restrooms that are there, because the first time we kind of had our fencing blocking the ramps up onto the curb. So that was something that we adjusted for this last concert. And good thing we did, because we had more individuals that needed that access this time around. So that was one of the feedbacks that we had. And we just made some changes. We, with Melissa, divided and conquered some of the things with the liquor license, or the beer line, I guess, to make things run a little bit smoother. But other than that, they're pretty good.
I just thought it was interesting to ask, see if there was, or if you were getting feedback on the events and stuff.
Yep, and we usually touch base with our key players, the radio station and our vendors and all the individuals that have kind of been involved, just to, we've touched base the week after the event and say, hey, what do we need to do different? Do we need to order anything, as far as cups, wristbands, all that kind of stuff. So it's been really good.
I attend every chamber meeting now, and
Yep.
every meeting they have after Downtown Sounds, they do spend time going over what everybody said and how they can improve it.
I know driving up on this last one, I kind of thought it was dark, I guess, coming up to it. I know we've talked about lighting and doing some different things with lighting in the past.
This band didn't have quite the setup that the other one
Yeah.
had. It was just a
It
one-man
just seemed to me like it was
person.
kind of, the street was kind of dark, so I was like, are they still doing that or not? And then as I got closer, I could see they were, but.
The band the month before had an elaborate light system, and this
Yes,
one didn't have
So
so
some of that's
much.
dependent on what they set up.
Some of it is depending upon what the artist brings. This guy he was a one-man show, so his setup was a little bit less than the full setup that Luke Mills and Dylan Bloom had with their entire band and lights and all that kind of stuff, so.
Okay. Interesting, all right. That's all I had questions on that.
All right.
How long do we have to get rid of, or to utilize our checks that we may have still before we get the card?
Preferably
City staff.
by the end of the year.
Okay.
Go
It's
shopping.
just an accounting nightmare.
Yeah.
But,
Try and get them spent.
yeah,
Take the wife out to dinner.
so,
So if anybody's got chamber bucks out there.
yeah. If anybody has chamber books, it would be appreciative if you would use them sooner than later.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Well, thank you for the update, and again, anybody that's interested in contacting the chamber about their director's position, president's position, please do so either through Indeed or contacting the chamber directly for more information, so
Yep.
appreciate that.
Thanks, Roger.
Okay, that was item number 6. Item number 7, consideration of the Cheyenne County Chamber
Look
Contract.
at this transition, huh?
Yeah. Where's the good news?
Now here comes the money, right? All that great stuff.
Good
I got it, right. No, we've been partnering with the Cheyenne County Chamber of Commerce for many years. And just some of the things that we do in our contract with them. The Chamber is responsible for several projects, assist the city with economic development. Some of those being recruit new retail and service businesses in the city and the Cheyenne County, assist existing retail and service businesses, promote and provide assistance regarding incentives for downtown businesses, which they actually take advantage of for their signs. So they were leading by example. Market available commercial properties, which I really appreciate. Organize a tour of available commercial properties, assist with execution of priorities stemming from the updated downtown master plan, provide newcomer packets, which we do hand out to everybody here in the city office when they come in and they first move to town, and they always really like that, actually, so that's a big bonus. Makes them feel welcome. And provide a quarterly update to the city. We didn't change much from the previous contract, and I think we've done this song and dance a year ago in the same spot in the same time, because we were under the same situation then, where we did not have an economic development director and we did not have a chamber director, and so we didn't make a lot of heavy changes in the agreement then because we didn't really know what the strengths of those possible candidates or new employees would bring to the table. And we didn't make a lot of changes here either, other than the few that we did make in this fiscal year are very minimal. But once again, there's no current chamber director, there's no economic development director. So what we agreed on was some wording, basically some wording changes that we think were more aligned with cooperation to achieve greater goals of the city rather than simply just performing random tasks. You can call the same business 100 times and you're probably not going to get anywhere with that. So we kind of wanted it to be a little bit more collaborative with us. So we're all kind of working on separate things, different things, and not duplicating tasks. I think that's kind of what we want to start working on. And being more of a cooperative effort rather than a you do this and I'll do that, and we won't really communicate effort. We really much like to improve those processes. So other than a few little wording things here and there to try to improve that is really all that we've changed in it from the last year. And the money did not change either, so. Does that explain it well, Jen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Any questions for David or Regina, I guess, on the Cheyenne County Chamber contract? Regina, do you have any other comments on the contract itself?
No, I don't. I think it's just important that we keep open lines of communication, and it's going to ebb and flow depending upon, I think who we each hire for these positions and their strengths and how they work together. But other than that, I think David and I have been in communication.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Several other board members in and out on several other things, so I think it works well, and I have done a lot of research actually recently on several other cities and chamber contracts throughout the state.
We've been doing a lot of that too.
And, some of them are more generic, some of them are specific like ours. I think it just depends on, the strengths of the entities involved, so.
The size and scope and
Yep,
things like
yep.
that of what you're trying to accomplish,
Yep.
yeah.
So we're comfortable with everything where we're at right now?
Yep.
Council, any questions for either Dave or Regina? All right, seeing none then, do we need a motion to approve the chamber contract?
Because it's part of your budget.
Yeah. Motion by Radcliffe, second by Olson, roll call.
Radcliffe,
Yes.
Olson,
Yes.
Elwinger,
Yes.
Sherman,
Yes.
Galloway.
Yes. Motion carries 5 in favor, 0 against. So thank you for that. We look to continue the partnership and keep this thing going.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Item number 8, recent economic development actions.
Yeah, I thought it was probably about time for this. I know I've talked with a lot of you individually about certain things going on in town and some of the things we're working on in businesses that are actually very good coming to town. A lot of really great things happening. But I know you haven't had a full economic development update in probably quite some time, so I figured it's about time to do that. So I want to just go over some of the highlights of, what I've been working on, some of the things that the city has been working on. First of all, we do have a couple new businesses in town that are going to be fantastic, and I know both of them are looking forward to reaching out to the chamber as well. OmniLogics is a full-service third-party logistics provider, basically a 3PL, which is what we had talked about probably a year ago with another company that was interested in that same area out there. They are from, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, Oween, Iowa. I don't know if that's the way you pronounce that name of that city or not, but they offer a wide array of services ranging from short and long-term warehousing, online e-commerce, order fulfillment, warehouse distribution, cross-docking, drop shipping, a variety of other value-added services depending on the needs of the customers. They also offer logistical support and services on international ocean and international air shipments for both import and export side of things. They provide import distribution, intermodal and boxcar shipping services, and they also de-van ocean containers as well as full truckload and less than full truckload shipments. Where they're going to be located is, I suppose a lot of people call it the old Cabela's Distribution Center, which is owned by 59 properties. So they will be out in that area, and we're really excited to have them. They have signage up. They're already working on hiring people. So it's very exciting. I've been talking with them for a while, but as you know, sometimes you can't give away everything until you have all the information. But I'm excited to have them here, and I am working with the state economic development resources that we have available to us to try to get them some CDGB money. There were a couple different options. They could have used the Imagine Nebraska Act to get some site development funds, which I thought would have been a good idea. I was kind of glad that they chose CBDG route, because then we don't get the hit back on our sales tax later if they go through that source. So, but whatever they would have needed, I would have worked with them on. And then another new one in town is already on the ground recruiting people is Crescera Brands. It's a privately owned company and currently owns and operates 2 key brands within their e-commerce space. One being the Sportsman Guide, and the other one being TGW is the Golf World. The Sportsman Guide is an outdoor people. It's rooted in the Midwest and is approaching 50 years in business. The Golf World is other business that supports golf under the Golf Warehouse brand, which if you golf, you've probably heard of that, and the baseball and softball under baseballsavings.com. So they do a lot of great things. They're going to start out much like what Nelnet did when they come to town. Their original staff will probably be about 3 to 5 employees, and they will be work from home, if you want to call it that, or remote jobs. And then once they get a few more, maybe in their second or third year, then we'll start looking for space and have a storefront or office space here.
Will there be an initial office space or no?
Not right out of the chute. Not right out of the chute. They will have, because they're going to it's almost exactly like what Nelnet did. They didn't have any office space the first year either, I don't think, till they got their management team in place. I know their first few jobs are going to be really, really, really good paying, and then the next ones will be good. These are all going to be really good jobs. They're looking to have about 12 people by the end of 2 or 3 years. So.
And this is a group we've been in contact with
Yep.
for quite a bit of time.
I've been talking to these guys for a long time, trying to get this lined up. I may be coming to the economic development, well, I probably will come to the economic development advisory committee and then to this council to see if we can get some job creation money for them, since they are bringing a lot of really good high-paying jobs. And I know they've asked me about it, and I feel okay with it. As usual, we'll do it as a reward if you achieve kind of basis rather than upfront. So, as our model has always been successful for us. So, I may be bringing something like that to you soon. But we're excited to have both those companies in town. Some of the other things that are happening, not only are we attracting new people, the businesses here are expanding. Freedom Yurt has, and I wish I had the exact square footage because I know it's significant, but they've recently moved from the Adams Industries space over to the 59 properties. I think it was just a better fit and they needed more room, and I think they might be under a different partnership now than what they were under before. I don't know all the ins and outs of that, but I do know that they have a much larger space there, and I'm working with them also through the state economic development on a leasehold improvement grant, which would total altogether about $576,000 of investment between them and the state. It'd be a matching situation. So, and we're almost there with that. We almost have everything we need together to get that submitted.
So how many businesses are located at the old distribution center?
It would be, let's see, Freedom Yurt, OmniLogics. Who else is out there? Recircled is out there. God, there's something else too, I'm forgetting.
Well, you got the Bell Point Lumber.
Bell Point.
I was just
I was thinking there was another new one, but
I was just going to add, I know conversations I had with the local developer, I believe all of the warehousing space out there is pretty much
it's starting to get spoken for.
spoken for, under contract, where no longer any vacant buildings out there.
I know OmniLogics is planning on hiring significant numbers.
And that includes maybe a
So-
couple businesses that aren't listed on here yet. But,
Yeah, I was trying to get the
my
highlights.
discussions were that they pretty much have space spoken for out there.
That's a good thing though, right?
Very.
Growth is much better than the other way, right? So that's happening at Freedom Yurt. And then also UST Global, I know that there's been concerns lately that they still have the majority of their people working remotely. And those were my concerns as well as the public's. And so I did start talking to them. We went over our lease agreement and kind of looked at some of the different clauses and what we could do and what we couldn't do. I wanted them to know that we value what they bring to the community. They did give me their payroll lists, and they are Sydney people. They're remotely, but they're not sitting somewhere in Colorado. They are almost all right here in Sydney working remotely. So it is Sydney jobs in Cheyenne County. And they've got about, last I heard, it was 85, and I think about 15 of them are working in the facility, and the rest are remote. I mean, they want more, they would hire more. And in my talks with them, we talked about a lot of things, not just the contract and what it says, or what we can and can't do, or how we can work together. We talked about lots of different things. We talked about re-engaging them with the community. I know when they first got here, they were very engaged in the community. And then COVID forced them to, send all their people remotely, and they kind of lost their way. And so we're going to start working to start marketing them out in the community. I know they're going to be reaching out to Regina here soon and see what we can work through with the chamber to get their name back out there, maybe get them on some ball field t-shirts or something like that to get them known again. And they are planning on revamping their pay scales. I know they're going to start trying to pay more because they know that they need to do that. And so all good things. And we did talk about the building, and they've come to the conclusion that even should they hit the numbers they want, and have 200 employees in the next few years, they could still do it with one floor. because the remote work has been so successful that they could do it with just one floor. So we're going to meet with them, I think it's Thursday morning, actually, this week out there, me and a city inspector, our chief building inspector, and some of their top executives to talk about how to put a wall, a divider wall with a door, so when you come into the main lobby, so anyone can access the main lobby then. It won't be just them. Right now, the whole building is locked down. That way, any other...
The nature of their business requires a lot of
requires
security,
it's
a lot of security.
HIPAA, a lot of HIPAA rules in that health billing, yeah.
Confidentiality because of the records
Right.
they deal with, so.
So they might still have somebody sitting out there, but it'll be a buzz-in thing right there, and then you get into first floor. But the lobby would still be open to the elevator, and they are willing to let us start working with other people on floors 2 and 3. So that's a big plus, because I know I've had people approach me and ask about that space there, and so
Yeah.
now we can start utilizing
There's
that.
interest by other businesses.
There is
on
definitely
utilizing that
interest,
space.
there's interest, and we want everybody to grow and to thrive and to get bigger and use as much of the space in Sydney as we can, so that's all positive. And they are willing to start paying a little bit more in their lease as well to help us meet, some of our costs, which is also a big positive. Everything was positive in that conversation, so.
They were gonna foot the cost on the partition too, weren't they?
Yep, they're gonna build this, yep. And.
I think they uncovered an item that we ought to, remember is when we do the contracts and, the potential for people being remote, not living in Sydney or Marion County. So I think we have to, I don't know that our contracts now detail that out.
No, I just don't think that was a part of our mindset at the
And
time.
It's actually a good point, because I know a conversation I had with David here just about a week ago was with another business, just like, well, how many people are actually working in Sydney or not in Sydney? And so it is something that we need to be aware of.
Conscious of, you're absolutely right.
This particular contract does say
Actually says
in person.
on premises.
It does say on premises.
When they say we're gonna have 20 or 50 or 80 employees, in every spot in the contract, it says on premises.
It does.
That's why you're getting this square footage for the deal you're getting, because they're gonna be right there. And so that's why we were able to kind of work a deal with them to get the other 2 floors freed up too, because they don't.
The landscape has changed where there are a lot more remote workers, but we should have a means of verifying that.
Right.
Biggest problem we'll have in this whole scenario is the metering, because, nobody else can sell utilities, we can only do that, and so we'll have to come up with a way of doing that where we divide it out, but that's fine, we'll come up with something. And some other things just going on with buildings around town. I know people always ask what's going on with this building, what's going on with that building. Currently, the Family Dollar building, the Goodwill has reached out to us, and they would like to spend a lot of money in revamping that building and making it very nice and make it a really good Goodwill facility. Their one concern was, when they first met with me and the chief building official, was if they had to put in a fire suppression system, because those are quite costly, and they said that might be a deal breaker. We've talked to the fire marshal. He has not given a definite answer yet, but we are under the understanding so far that they will not need to do that, because it's always been retail before and it's not changing. And so they think that they'll be able to get by with that. But until they sign something, stamp, seal of, fire marshal, you don't have to do this. I don't ever want to count anything out, but if that goes well, I think that'll be a good investment in the community as well, and a lot of,
Does Goodwill have a location now?
No, it's actually Salvation Army.
we have a Salvation Army down on
David and I
Illinois.
were talking about that, it's actually different.
Yeah, they're different. But I've seen some of their knifers, they have one of these that they want, like what they want this one to look like in McCook, and it's very nice looking. It's a very nice looking Goodwill they have there, so that would be great. The land next to Walmart, we talked about this way back just like we were talking about the 3PL earlier I hate to bring them up, but the day of the Camping World, and that was where they had talked about. And that land was owned by 59 properties as well. So that land has just sat since then, and nobody's really done anything. Well, Matt put it up for auction here recently, just to, get what he can get. And he had sought out, I don't know the name of the auction company, But they're apparently very good at what they do, and everybody said they will get you a good price, and they got him a very, very good price for it. I don't want to say what that is, but they got him a decent price for it. But that has been sold, and it's been sold to a trucking outfit. I don't know what they're interested in, but for the amount that they paid for it, I'm thinking they're interested in something. I mean, they're not going to pay that kind of money and do nothing up there. So I don't know what, I have not had a chance to reach out to them yet. They're probably still trying to close the sale, so they have not contacted us, and I don't have any contact information for them, but as soon as I do, I will start working with them to see what it is they have in mind up there, and if it's going to fit in with what we want. We hope so, right?
So is that at the south of Walmart?
Yes.
Yes, I always want to say north, but you're right, it's south, yeah.
Between Walmart and the interstate.
Yep, Walmart and the interstate, yep. So something will possibly be happening there soon. And I know a lot of people ask about the old Buffalo Point building. That same building, since it was so successful being auctioned, or that piece of land was so successful being auctioned by that company, the person from Buffalo Point had reached out to that same auction firm, and they are going to be auctioning that building in August. And this time there will be no, I'm under the understanding there will be no minimum bid, so it will be under new ownership. Or somebody will have a bid on it by the end of August. I don't know how long it'll take to transfer the property, but it will go.
Craig Shannon.
Yes, I
out
guess
of
I couldn't say his
Denver,
name, yeah.
Has owned Buffalo Point.
Yep,
The last
correct.
7, 8 years
Yeah.
or longer.
For a while they were talking about, but that never came to be
There's been
either.
multiple groups that
Multiple
approached about it.
rumors.
One was a medical supply company, some local businesses. had
There's been
entertained
local
the
businesses
idea
that had done it, yeah.
About using it as office space, this or that. Obviously, it's a private real estate matter, so there's no guarantees it ends up as a restaurant, which would be nice. But
We can't control that, I mean, but
if it's, as long as it's not empty, I guess that's,
I'd like to see something there and something doing well and hiring people and,
but yeah, he's finally decided to let that go, so.
yeah, he's been kind of working deals for a long time. I think the auction might be the best way for him to go, just to finally be done with it. Maverick Building is coming along nicely. They're really great folks to work with, so, they are easy to get along with.
They're in Alliance and Chandler.
Yes.
Yep. They're nice stations, actually.
Actually, really nice convenience stations.
And I went up there the other, because we had to block it off today to bring in the tank, but when I went up there yesterday and they had the hole dug for that, I'm like, geez, that's a big hole. I mean,
Well, within a day of
those
breaking,
things require a lot of space to put those gas tanks
within
in.
a day of breaking ground, they were already laying footings.
Yeah, they don't
They've already
mess
put the
around.
frames up for the canopies already,
Yeah.
so they're moving.
And the Elks building project, probably the only thing I'm still struggling with, getting the contractor to actually commit to a date. I did finally hear back again today that they're supposed to be coming to do their last walkthrough, hopefully Tuesday, and give me a start date. I'm crossing my fingers, but it's just been like pulling teeth getting anybody to agree to do that job because it's got so many different multifacets to it. But I am hopeful that this place out of North Platte is going to finally come and work a deal with us on that. So we've talked to them for a long time now, but
And this is the type of deal, you've gotten approval from the state now to be the
Yes.
sole source
Yes.
contractor,
Yes.
so David can approach people about taking on the entire
Mm-hmm.
project, part of the project, whether it's electrical, it's plumbing, it's windows, it's,
and you would have thought that would have solved our problem,
Yeah.
but no. It's still
there's-
struggling to find.
there's still
people.
opportunity for interested contractors to get a hold of you, correct?
There is, yes, please do, if anybody's
So
out there.
Yeah, I make
Yes.
that point to the media, that anybody interested in
Please reach out to me.
construction aspects.
HVAC,
project,
windows, flooring, drywall,
windows,
remodeling,
yeah,
whatever you
any type of
do.
remodeling to renovate the former city auditorium as an
Yep.
event center, to utilize the CDGB grant that we have. Otherwise, we risk losing
Yes,
$400,000.
yes, we don't want to do that.
So you're not seeking out a general contractor, you're seeking out a...
Well, if Steel does it, the one that's coming in with us Tuesday out of North Platte, they would do that, and then they would approach the subcontractors. That was the problem they had. They wanted to come and take a second look, but they wanted all their subs to come, and getting them all lined up to come here and look at it has been troublesome. But I think they must finally have the logistics of that worked out. And whatever they don't have for subs, I told them, just come anyway and let me see what I can do for you. And so maybe that finally got him pushed to come here, I don't know. I've been bugging him. He's probably tired of me calling him every week, so. And then for a while, we had other people that were interested, but they've all kind of, have other jobs going on that they can't hardly get materials for now too. And so it's just a difficult climate. But we're doing everything in our power to make that happen.
When do we have to spend that money by?
Yeah, we have till April of '23, so we probably should have started with this 3 months ago, by the time you get supplies in. But I'm hopeful that, and I don't want to speak for the grant administrators at the state, I'm hopeful that if we even had any kind of work started, that they would be generous to me again. I mean, they've been generous once, we'll hope that they would do it again.
Extension, if need be.
Yeah, I'm hoping it doesn't allow for it in the grant, but I'm hoping if we can show we're doing something that maybe they would.
But yeah,
Work
again,
with us.
if there's any groups or organizations interested in that, please reach out to David.
Yes,
And
please.
see what the possibilities are.
Yep, please do. The Table of Grace building that we talked about with San Jose Global out by the old recycling plant is still, I don't know. They seem to be all the way down on the pedal or not at all. Every time I talk to them, they're full steam ahead, or else they're, oh no, we got to do a bunch of studies. So they're still trying to do, apparently they want to do some land studies out there, some environmental impact studies. Maybe it's something they have to do for their corporation, I don't know. But that seems to just kind of be the catch right now. So I'll keep you informed as I talk to them. But right now, they're just kind of wanting to do more environmental studies before they move forward. Inland Port Authority, I do have an update. It's not a very in-depth one that I have in here. I'm still working with them. They're still working on volumes. They have a conference and a potential customer meeting in Washington later this month, and another meeting with UP in mid-July. It does sound like there has been some grant funding out there that has went to a couple other communities, not for the main port, but to build rail yards. So I don't know that that's super favorable for us, but to North Platte and to another community. But we are still moving. They are still moving ahead. I have a meeting scheduled actually for the 25th with the folks up there at Adams and maybe a couple other people that we need to meet with to see how we can move this thing forward. But they're working very hard on it, so. Housing, always an issue, right? I'm still working, we'll have the blight studies, hopefully at the next meeting, to actually finally finalize that process, and that will be done then. I'm planning to take it to the Planning Commission on the 18th, and then to you guys on the 26th. We're having trouble getting a quorum for Planning Commission, but I'm hoping we can nag enough of them to show up, right? Like Lori's been knocking on their front doors and making sure they're going to be here on the 18th. So if so, that will help us significantly, and then we will start working on our workforce housing plan and moving forward with that. Master comp plan, as I said, we started that. I don't know. Brad, hopefully is planning to be here at 10 a.m. tomorrow. Thursday, 10 a.m. Thursday for our kickoff meeting with that. Exciting stuff. I think you'll enjoy it. I think it'll give you a really good view of like all the different components of the city and what goes into that. That'll be very helpful. Creative District. This is something we've been working on for a while now. I think in probably very late 2021, the council passed a resolution saying, yes, we want to create a creative district. It's a fantastic program. I actually spoke at the Municipal Finance Conference about it, so I'm getting intimately involved in it. It is very good. In 2020, what it is Senator Megan Hunt introduced LB 780, allowing for the Nebraska Arts Council to form a creative district program. And in 2021, after the bill passed, State Senator Mike Flood introduced a separate bill providing $1 million annually to support these creative districts. I'm currently working with the Creative District Steering Committee to follow the grant process. We have a meeting tomorrow. Who's going to that? Did you guys decide? I heard you guys kind of talking about it.
I deferred to Marva because I had a conflict.
So are you going too? So Brad and Marva will be at that tomorrow. Okay, perfect. I think that will give you a better idea of what it is. Jamie will be, from the state, will be providing a PowerPoint going over the basic granting process and things like that, and how the plan works, and how you can apply for this and apply for that, and what you have to do to get the money. And then I will go over a PowerPoint of how specifically our steering committee here in Sydney would like to do, what our vision is, for this money, and so it'll be very interesting. And last thing is Safe Streets grant application. We've been working on this, and thank you to Roger and to Marva for working with me and Jason Nelke on this. We will be moving forward with that as well, and we have a meeting coming up here later this month on that as well. We don't have the invite out yet, but I think we're looking at sometime that third week in July still, maybe even as soon as the 21st or something, to try to kick that steering committee off and get that going in the right direction. What we're doing with that for the general public is creating a overall plan for what we want for our safe streets and trails, and rather than just targeting one thing. Grant funding is a lot easier, always, if you have a plan. And so to just say, hey, we want to do this, give us money, it'll be really great. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. But when they've actually given you money to design a plan, which we are applying for the money to design the plan, do the environmental impact studies and things like that, once you've showed that kind of interest and you've spent grant money putting the plan together, I think you're a lot more successful getting your implementation
Yeah,
grants.
Jason has done a very good job of identifying
He has.
some good grants to go after, very large, sizable grants. And to that end, identified the process that would hopefully put us in the best position to apply for those grants. So what I'm getting at is it's going to be a multi-step process. The first point, as David said, will be to put together a plan, applying for a planning grant, which really sets you up well for the next phase of
5 years worth, yeah.
yeah, applying for the next 5 years' worth of funds out of a couple of these grants. So I think everything that he's identified to this point has been spot on with what the council wanted, and I think there's a good plan in place to get to that end. So
I agree.
we look forward to continuing to work with him on that.
So I won't wait this long again, I'm sorry that was so long, but I just really felt like it was important to go over some of that stuff, so.
A lot of good information that the public needs to be aware of. There's a lot of good things going on in the community, and we continue to work on more.
Yep, absolutely, that's all I have for now, unless anybody has any questions about any of that. Nope.
I don't think so. Thank you. Item number 8, claims for June 2022, as done by Brad Sherman. See from our handy note.
Everything's in place, so well organized and detailed.
What do they need you for then, huh?
What's that?
What do they need you for then?
I said that many times.
And the new set of claims are ready for Burke.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
The rotation came around quick.
Didn't have to take a coffee in or anything, or?
Oh, I probably still order at least 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, it went so smooth, I didn't have time for coffee.
I did.
So Councilman Sherman reviewed claims for the month of June 22. No concerns or objections. Is there a motion to approve claims?
So moved.
Oh, I was going to volunteer you. Motion by Allwinger. Second by
Second.
Radcliffe. Roll call.
Wilson?
Yes.
Elwinger?
Yes.
Sherman?
Yes.
Galloway?
Yes.
Radcliffe?
Yes.
Motion carries 5 in favor, 0 against. Item number 10, budget reports for June. Finally, something to complain about.
What you guys all came for. Don't have a whole lot to report on. Property tax varies year to year, pretty much right in line where we typically are here. Sales tax slightly above budget. We're 76%, 75% through the year, so we got 3 months left. Summer typically, I know I certainly spend a lot more money in the summer. So I would anticipate us finishing ahead of projections, knock on wood. But fees for service, we're a little ahead in this category. Golf slightly behind revenues from last year, but the pool's slightly ahead. Other line items in this category I don't talk about a lot would be like cemetery, handy bus service, building permits. Cemetery is pretty much right in line where they always are. The handy bus is actually up from previous years. And building permits is the highest that they've been in 4 years. And there's nothing up there that's been this good. And our rates have not increased either in building permits for 4 years. So it means a lot more is going on, to piggyback on what David just talked about, I guess. And then state, federal, county, we're ahead of previous years except for when we received the large amount of CARES Act money. We're at 99% through the year. That was our big equalization money came in, so that explains that. And then franchise and admin, we're a little ahead of where we typically are, but I did quarter fees on time, the admin fees on time this time, so I usually do those the month after, but I did them ahead, so. That's it, we're 76% through the year, so pretty much right on schedule with what we budgeted.
Everything seems to be on track.
Seems to be, anyway.
In other finance news, probably at the next meeting, we'll ask you for available dates for a budget workshop in August sometime, because the next meeting is going to be the last one in July, and we usually do that in August, so. And I think we want to do that plenty ahead of time, where we can do I know you guys like having the budget in 2 different meetings rather than just one, so, and we will definitely plan to do that again this year.
More meetings is better.
And with the new budget schedule, it's important that we get it done earlier, because it will, the LB 644 throws a big wrench into the way that we do our budget. It gives us a very limited window to do things.
The state
So-
never gets tired of trying to make it even harder for local governments.
I've only cried 3 times thinking about it, but.
Yeah, that's always it.
So that'll be coming out.
Any questions for Lane, staff? If not, is there a motion to approve budget reports for June? Motion by Olson, second by Sherman, roll call.
Elwinger?
Yes.
Sherman?
Yes.
Galloway?
Yes.
Redcliffe?
Yes.
Olson?
Yes.
Motion carries 5 in favor, 0 against. Item number 11, city manager's report.
And I was going to remind people of different things going on, but it sounds like we got the master comp plan kickoff and the creative district, and then Thursday you're coming by for the
Yes.
CGI.
What time was that?
2 p.m.
2, okay.
2 p.m. Oh, if you want it ahead of time, you might want to review the videos that are on, have you seen the little videos on our website, the little minute-and-a-half videos?
Yeah, I'll go through them again.
Yeah, you might want to go through them before that, just so we can have some input. And then I had just a few things. I wanted to thank the fire department for a really awesome fireworks display. Thought that went really good. And God, you couldn't have planned it better to have the rain come just, hours before, so everything was nice and you didn't have to worry about the dry weather or anything, and it was really nice. That worked out great. So I want to thank all the city departments for their work the last couple days on the chip sealing efforts. That's literally every single department in the city contributes employees to that, and it's a really overall effort, and so I really appreciate it. It speaks volumes for the way staff can pull together and do something like that. And something that we rarely mention, but I think it's definitely worth saying, our libraries is actually doing very well. Library summer reading program, let's see, they had 164 children participate for the children's summer reading program, and only 108 last summer. So that's a huge increase from 108 to 164 in their summer reading program. And in their adult program, they went from 9 people to 134. They've done a lot of work on their patio. I don't know if any of you have seen those posts on Facebook about come and sit on a nice cool patio and read a book. It's very cool. They're getting some marketing out there, but they're doing some really great things, and I just wanted to point that out.
Did they ever hire a
We are still working on it. That one is as elusive as an economic development director, but we continue to try everything we can. I mean, I know Adam and I don't know if there's any stones left, but we are going to keep looking for them. We'll find something sooner or later. But they continue to accelerate even under the interim leadership, so good for them. And that is the last of my comments on everything else, other than unless the 2 council members that are not currently on the ballot want to change their mind. Friday is the deadline for incumbents, so if anybody has a change of heart, you have till Friday to make your mind up. That's all I have.
Chief, anything to add?
No, sir.
Colonel?
And I do have something. Saturday night, at 5:30, the Fallen Soldiers Memorial Motorcycle Tribute will be coming into town. We're hosting them overnight at the Elks Club. It starts in Eugene, Oregon, and ends up in Washington, D.C. They drive all the way through on motorcycles and take a torch up for the fallen soldiers. So they will be at the Elks Saturday night.
Saturday night?
Saturday night, though, they're coming into town, I believe, 5:30. And then they'll be leaving at 8:30 in the morning.
So the public's welcome to come
Public's
visit with
welcome to
them?
come down and meet them.
Okay.
They're braver than I am, they're staying all night at the Elks.
Well, they're gonna enjoy the building and the history that goes
Yeah.
with it, so I'm sure you'll be given plenty of tours.
Yeah, we'll be eating
Scary
supper and
parts.
breakfast,
Outstanding.
so.
Well, thank you to the Elks for doing that. It's a nice event space, nice when we can utilize it. Autumn, anything? No. We already heard from Lane, you're done. Nope, done. Marshall's not here, so I can't harass him, so. Council, Marva.
Yeah, we had Nebraska Life magazine in this last week, and they were very impressed with our park project, and I think they'll be writing a very nice article on that. They also wanted to make sure that we let them know what's going on here, so they can get the word out to Nebraska. It's really nice to have her here.
Okay.
No, I
Wow, nothing, huh?
I've been sitting here this whole time trying to think of something.
Nothing. I'm so just,
Make them,
About 2 weeks.
make note. Bob, anything?
just to back up Marva there a little bit, I took my wife, we went down, looked at the park, that's the first time we've been down there, and so.
Impressive.
Yeah.
Very good.
Looks huge.
Yeah, it's very beautiful.
How much that equipment would look like, it was substantial.
It's bigger than Lazy River.
Wow.
Anything, Burke? Anything else? No, I was going to echo that too. The park project, I can't commend those people enough for the efforts put into organizing that and the work in facilitating that project. I think it's going to be a tremendous improvement to the community, so kudos to all of those who've been involved with that. Thank you again to everybody involved with the Downtown Sounds, the Chamber, and the city staff. Tremendous events, extremely well received by the community and the citizens from everybody I talked to, so look forward to continuing those. Our next one is August 5th. That's what I thought. So we do have one more, last one remaining, so put that on your calendars as something to attend.
It's a good time.
And other than that, we're adjourned at 7:24.
Let's get over that one.